Hi, I'm Paris, and I'm building a new video editing system around the AMD Ryzen 1700X. Finally got all the hardware I need to begin my build, so I'm going to do some short videos about each piece of hardware, showing the unboxing, showing the installation, and then showing it when the build is completed with the M.2 drive. I'll also do a comparison with my current video editing system to see how much faster, and yes, it better be faster, than it is right now. EpicReviewGuys. This is the InWin 303 case. Wasn't my first choice, but there are a lot of competing demands on what I wanted. Definitely wanted a clear panel on the side and didn't want an acrylic panel. Over at Fry's, the cases I looked at that they had on display, they get gouged and scratched up so easily, so I wanted tempered glass. I wanted it to be a little bit showy so it can work with the new fashion of having the LED lights throughout and having some lights on the front. I wanted a solid top on the computer because I do put other things there. As for the rest of the case, I wanted something metal rather than plastic, so it'll be well built and sturdy. Also that it had good reviews. The weakness of this case is the airflow. Because of the stylish design, the front of the case is a solid piece of metal, so you can't have the airflow go through there. The company has designed it to work with a different airflow, so I'll test it out as is, and I'll add fans as necessary to keep the system cool inside. I picked this up for $95 over at a local computer store here in Texas called Alltex. I'll link to where you can find it online right down below this video. Ties, screws, grommets, and the user manual. Now, I was a little bit nervous with this, and one reason I didn't want to have it shipped is that tempered glass side panel. It came packed very well. I was surprised to have the panel already pre-installed and not separate, but let's hope that worked out. Let's do the unveiling and see. That's pretty. How it held up. The front, there are LEDs here. Here's the side panel. Ooh, is that mirrory? A few fingerprints and it won't be, but that's nice. Now the base is raised up because this is going to rely on pulling air in from the bottom to keep cool. You can see there, you can put fans along the bottom, and there are built-in screens that you can pull out from the side to clean the dust. Here's the screen. You can access it without having to open the case up. Okay. There's the inside. This weighs a good 3 pounds or so. Here are the header and other cables. Solid state drives will mount right here, and the M2 that I'll be using will mount right on the motherboard, which will go right here. You can see the sort of cage built in the top here for radiators for water cooling, and the power supply will go right here. Power supply will exhaust here. This is your one fan spot on the back. I have a water cooling system for the CPU that uses 2 fans, so one on the outside, one on the inside. They'll be mounted right here, pulling the air through that radiator as well as pulling air out of the case. And video card slot here, and where the ports to your motherboard will go. The other side of the case with this cool pattern right here, which actually goes all the way through, so there's another opportunity for exhaust air to come out here. And if you are using a water cooling system with the radiators mounted up here on the cage, the idea is that the fans will blow warm air out here. I don't think you could count on enough of it getting to the back and going out through the power supply. This makes it nice and easy to get to the back of the motherboard to attach things depending on the type of cooling system you're using for your CPU. Sometimes you've got to either attach it before installing, or you can do it after installing here if you're able to get to the back of the motherboard. These 2 spots appear to be for full-size hard drive mounting. That's going to take them out of a lot of the air circulation. I do have one 3 terabyte drive that I'll be using. I guess I'll mount it back here. Here you can see the punch through on that pattern. Some air will go through that. Not as much as if there were more punch and less pattern. What is nice is along the bottom here, there's a cushion attached actually on each side, so you don't get as much clanging and vibration when those fans are running at full speed. For all the punched out pieces, the corners, and on the screws, I don't feel any sharp pieces of metal. They did a very nice job in finishing this. Now your distance here at the bottom with these 2 raised legs is, about a ½ inch or so. You would definitely not want to use this case and have it down on a carpet because you'll block all of your air inflow. This is the bottom of the case here. You can see there's room to mount 320 millimeter fans, and I'm probably going to do at least a couple. That might rattle just a little. Have to see. I like the looks of the InWin 303. They had it in white for $10 less, but white is just too close to beige. I've spent too many years working on beige computers, so this is really snazzy looking. My only concern with it really is the airflow, but I'm gonna make that work. Next up is putting in the power supply and the motherboard. Here's where I'll install the motherboard. Looks like there are already some offsets built in here, and these even have lips on them right around the edge, which I assume is intended, and this is all going to fit together smoothly. I've installed the 5 additional offsets, ready to put the motherboard on and attach it. Found out what the lip was for on the top of these 2 offsets. Once you slide the motherboard down onto it, it grabs them and centers the motherboard so all of the holes match up. Nice. The ports fit pretty well back here. The only little concern I have is with the audio ports and this lip of metal, but just barely fits. Motherboard's filling up nicely with the processor, the memory, the M.2 drive. Time now to attach the cables from the case to where they go on the motherboard. The control cables are now all attached. I had imagined from where they came out the back on the case they were going to come through this spot up here and down, but no way were they going to reach, so I ended up using this gap, which I think is where you could put a hard drive. Anyway, it came in handy so I could run the cables down to the very bottom where they needed to stretch to. Next up is some more cable mismanagement. Time for all the power cables. With the InWin 303 case, you need to take off the panel behind the motherboard in order to install the power supply. Since I want the fan to pull the air from inside the case, it's going to go this way, which puts the rear of the power supply like this. And it looks like the screw holes match up just perfectly. With the screws in and the power supply attached to the case, now it's time to take a look at how the modular cable system is going to work with this particular case. The rest of the cable will feed down through this L-shaped opening in the case in the InWin 303. So the cable can either feed down through this portion in front of the motherboard or right here and come into one of the spots in back. I've been using my new Ryzen 7 system for over a month now, video editing, and it's working very well. The one issue with it, and it partially could be the case, is the heat. The CPU in particular, I do have it overclocked from 3.4 gigahertz up to 3.8 and the memory as well. But I've got temperatures when it's running at full load, within 10 minutes or so, it's up to 70 degrees Celsius, a little higher than I would like. Part of the issue with those 70-degree CPU temperatures is no doubt the water cooling system. I knew this had space for just one 120 millimeter fan in the back, so I have that size radiator, 2 fans, one on the front, one in the back, pushing the air through, but I think it's not enough radiator size. Within the system, up on the top, I could put a 320 millimeter size radiator, and I think I may need to upgrade to that if I'd like to overclock this a little more and bring the temperatures down to where I'm more comfortable with them. Let me start it up, show you what it looks like with the lights on, the lights off, and explain a little about the software that runs the LEDs inside. Here it is with the lights down. These are the lighted elements in the case at the moment. The motherboard also has some trace lighting on it at the moment that's not running. It's not a very quiet system, even though the power supply fan isn't running because it hasn't reached sufficient load or temperature. We've got the fan up top that runs constantly. That's the location where I put that 3 across water cooling radiator. I also have a fan in the bottom pulling air in, but it's not lit. And the G.Skill Trident memory LEDs can either be run with some G.Skill software or run from the Aura software with the motherboard. It's prettier in the dark because you don't see all my cables then. Here's my solid state drive. Down underneath the Cooler Master and right above the video card is the M.2 drive. And I've got a GTX 1060 that does exhaust a little bit more air out the back of the case. Here's the view with the back of the case off. You can see my 3.5-inch drive installed here. I saw a comment that someone said there's no place for 3.5-inch drives in this case. There are. You can actually put one here and another one up here, though most people wouldn't think to look there. All in all, not a bad case for under $100. You can find out more about the InWin 303 at the link down below this video. I will link at the end of this video and in the descriptions down below to my video reviews of the other components. how this has all worked out, as well as some benchmarking. Some of those videos may be over on our other channel, Epic Reviews Tech. You can keep checking back for new videos here, or you can click that subscribe button and the bell next to it down below. You'll get notified when my videos go up. See you on the next review.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. At Epic Review Guys, we give it a try. What does the fox buy? Nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches our videos.